Hey everybody, it is Mike for Dead and Dying Retail, and we are here at the former Kmart in Pineville, North Carolina. This Kmart closed, a year ago now? Maybe a little less. This was probably one of the closest Kmarts to me, and still is sitting empty. So unfortunately, some of these closing Kmarts are just not getting refilled, and some are getting filled very quickly. Wanted to touch on the newest list that has just come out. Kmart has announced, Sears and Kmart have announced over 70 more stores are closing. Sears, Kmart, and of course Sears Auto Centers. Not really a shock, more closing, but some are quite a shock on the list, including Somerville, South Carolina, which was a Sears brand and then got remodeled back into a Kmart, and was quite the beautiful store. New carpeting, updated floors, updated signage, paint. It was a really nice store, but one of our contributors gave us a tip that the store wasn't even using their air conditioning, and the hours were reduced a few days ago, so I knew that wasn't a good sign of things to come. Ohio hit hard once again. Sears seems to really hate Ohio. Many closings in the last couple of months from Ohio, and we got a half dozen or more now. So I'm sure Nick will get out there and cover some of those Ohio closings for us. Here in the Carolinas, as I said, we have that Somerville store, which I have covered extensively, and we'll go back and check out Asheboro, North Carolina Sears, which I have never been to, so I might have to check that out. Many more on the list. Seneca, South Carolina, which I will definitely be checking out again. It's a really small format 70s store with some interesting signage inside. It is way out there in Western Carolina. In addition to the Columbia Place Sears, which can't believe that's still open. They closed down half the store about 2 years ago, and it's a dying mall, Columbia Place, and that Sears, the Kmart closed about a year ago, a little less, and now the Sears is going to be closing. So not a shocker there in Columbia, South Carolina. So we're going to be checking those out in the next couple months, in addition to some other locations, of course, throughout the summer. So keep it right here at Dead and Dying Retail. We will be covering multiple Kmart and Sears closings throughout the entire country. We have people all over the place, California to Texas to Ohio to Connecticut to Florida. We got people everywhere to cover some of these Kmarts for you. But I want to know if your Kmart or Sears is closing locally to you, or one that maybe you grew up going to or know a lot about. We, of course, would love your Kmart picture submissions. deadanddyingretail@gmail.com, or just hit up on Facebook. Message us on Facebook. Posting to our page is getting more difficult. Thank you, Facebook, for making it kind of a pain to see posts on our page. And but if you have some pictures and like them submitted, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures still yet to be posted. We have quite the backlog of pictures, so we're getting them up as fast as we can, but we also want to make sure we're not doing too much too soon so people can see. As you saw, we've been doing a lot of Facebook Living. Nick has been up in his game on the Facebook Live, so I really hope you guys have been enjoying the live tours of stores. I can never get this my AT&T cell phone service to work well inside stores. So Nick brought you Gander Mountain and the Andersons, which I'm disappointed. I didn't get to go see the other Anderson store in Columbus, but thankfully Nick got that covered. So I am using a new selfie stick that I got on clearance. So hopefully this is working out well. But yeah, if you have any comments or anything that's not hateful about Kmart or Sears, that would be great. Again, just a really tough time. I'm betting some of these stores that are closing probably are actually profitable and probably actually made some money. But lease issues, I'm sure. Obviously, Kmart wants to pull out of certain areas of the country, as people are seeing. Kmart seems to want to leave areas. Florida is pretty hard hit. Pretty much anywhere that's not in a major metropolitan area, Kmart seems to want to get out of Washington State, Idaho, Montana. Those areas seem to be with very few Kmarts. Even Michigan is getting killed on the Kmart. So you don't have many Kmarts left in the state of Michigan. That's pretty bad. It's pretty rough. So support Kmart as much as you can. We're hoping maybe this summer Eddie Lampert will just go away and someone else will take over the company. But until then, we're stuck with him. Interesting note about my sunglasses here. I got them at Zellers in Canada. Y'all remember me going up to Zellers in Canada. That was a fun trip. So yes, this Kmart here in Pineville, I believe opened in 94, 93, 94. And replaced a store that was literally on the opposite side of the highway. And was opened in 83, I believe. So it only was there 10 years before they moved across the street. So not sure why, but this plaza is getting to be pretty dead. It's hard to see. It's a pretty big plaza. The TJ Maxx relocated, so they say, way down, almost into South Carolina. There was a Anna's Linens, but that closed with the chain. And a Lifeway bookstore, Christian bookstore, still here. Steinmart. There used to be a Payless right next to the Kmart. That is now America's Best Eyewear. There also used to be a Pier 1 in this plaza. That is dead, and there used to be a Quaker Steak and Lube here in this plaza as well. There's a lot of things that are no longer here in Pineville, which is kind of strange since Pineville is a small town, but really popular with people, especially close to Ballantyne, South Charlotte. We're surmising this plaza may be redeveloped at some point. The Dick's Sporting Goods, which is a horrible location down at the end of this plaza, and it's really hard to get to. That's moving into the Macy's, which closed here. So, which Carolina Place Mall is directly across the street. The Dick's is going to move into there. There's a massive Office Depot that's way too big for its own good. So, we got to imagine that this might be redeveloped so we can actually... This frontage could actually be seen by the road. You could only see this plaza by the highway. You can't actually see this plaza from the main road, Route 51. And this is a kind of a bad spot for the plaza where you could see it off the highway, but you really can't see it very well from the road. So I think a lot of businesses lose out over here. There's a Best Buy over yonder, which used to be Service Merchandise. Nothing special, unfortunately. Doesn't look like Service Merchandise at all. But yeah, this was a kind of a cool little Kmart here. Yes, Tyler, we share your sentiment with Eddie Lampert, but he's been on the defensive lately, and they posted some first quarter earnings, which were kind of positive. 12% same store sale losses, not good. The positive was they didn't lose any money, but they only didn't lose any money because they sold Craftsman. Go figure. So quarter two will probably not be so good for Kmart and Sears. Keep bleeding that cash. So give a shout. If you all listen to the Retail Focus podcast, they drop really good information about stores at the Retail Focus podcast. If you use iTunes or Podbean or any of those services, you could check out the Retail Focus podcast, which talks about Sears, Kmart, and retail in general. The stuff we like to talk about, they talk about. So give them a listen. Stan, the trampoline place does seem to be doing really well. Every time I go by that spot, it used to be a PetSmart, and it's shoved way in the corner. I mean, you cannot get any farther out in the corner. Horrible location, but yet does really well as a trampoline place. Go figure. So this plaza is all sorts of weird with stores that didn't last, restaurants that didn't last. There's an Indian grocery store that is packed, especially on the weekends. It's just an interesting little plaza over here. Tulsa, Oklahoma, losing its last store. Oh, not good. I know Oklahoma, Kmart's been really getting killed in Oklahoma. Sears the same way. So Oklahoma may be losing vast Kmart and Sears stores. Hopes the Sears to me doesn't go away, but they're located inside a shopping mall. I mean, Sears, there's still a lot of Sears stores. I think there's like 1,200 or 1,300, something around there. And this is probably going to bring us under 600 Kmarts. So clearly the company sees a lot more in Sears than Kmart. If they're in a good mall and the store hours are good, you're probably safe. But Eddie is certainly open to selling, subdividing, and getting rid of as much as humanly possible for whatever kind of money people want to offer him. Yeah, the layout of this plaza, again, Josh, it's by the highway. I mean, you see everything. But if you're driving on 51 past the mall, you would never know anything's here. So, other than, of course, I mean, there is a big sign out front saying there was a Kmart and a Home Depot and whatnot. But just kind of dumb planning, I think, by whoever did this. I guess they thought that getting more space out of this area and by the highway would be better. But in this day and age, I think they need to actually bring the plaza more this way and open it up a little bit more. And maybe redevelop it. Not sure what they need to do, but there's money to be made in Pineville, that's for sure. Being so close to the border and all, people definitely are shopping. Just got to give them a reason to come out here. So, other than that, that's pretty much all we got here. We will again be checking out these closings, and if you have any Kmart or Sears pictures you want to send us, deadanddyingretail@gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook page. Just message us and we will post them. Again, we are upping our game on the live videos, and we have our YouTube page. Just search Dead and Dying Retail on YouTube and you can find some of our videos. We've doing some live stream videos over there, and I have a ton of content from the last 9 years I could be uploading, so keep tuned to the page. We're going to upload some cool stuff over the summer, and we are going to be hitting up some really cool spots in the summertime. Hoping to head to Florida once or twice over the summer, and possibly up to the Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area, and who knows where else. So you just never know when we take suggestions. So again, appreciate everybody checking this video out, and if you have a Kmart story, a Sears story, or want to share anything about Kmart or Sears, just leave us a comment below or send us a message, post to our page, email us. I don't know if we do Twitter. I don't do Twitter. I'm a non-tweeter. So stick to the Facebook page or the email, and we do appreciate your support. So thank you very much from me and my selfie stick at the former Kmart in Pineville, North Carolina.